Imagine you're walking through a cold forest 50,000 years ago. You hear footsteps behind you. You turn around, and standing only a few meters away is another human. At least, that's what you think. He has broad shoulders, powerful muscles, a heavy brow, and a face unlike anyone you've ever seen. He isn't Homo sapiens. He's a Neanderthal. For most of human history, we weren't the only humans on Earth. Thousands of years ago, several different human species lived at the same time, sharing the same planet. Some even shared the same forests, rivers, and hunting grounds. If you had traveled back then, meeting another human species wouldn't have been science fiction. It would have been an ordinary part of life. So what would that encounter actually be like? Around 50,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had already begun spreading out of Africa. As they moved across Europe and Asia, they entered lands that were already home to other human relatives. The most famous were the Neanderthals. Neanderthals had lived in Europe for hundreds of thousands of years. Their bodies were built for survival in freezing climates. They were shorter than most modern humans, but much stronger. Their large noses helped warm the cold air before it reached their lungs. Their thick bones and powerful muscles made them incredibly resilient. If one stood next to you today, you'd instantly recognize them as human, but also unmistakably different. Neanderthals weren't the only ones. Far to the east lived another mysterious group called the Denisovans. Scientists know surprisingly little about them, because only a handful of bones and teeth have ever been discovered. Yet DNA tells an incredible story. Many people living today, especially in parts of Asia and Oceania, still carry Denisovan genes, inherited from ancient ancestors. That means these mysterious humans didn't simply disappear. A small part of them still lives inside millions of people today. On the Indonesian island of Flores lived perhaps the strangest human species of all, Homo floresiensis. Nicknamed the Hobbit, adults stood only about 3 feet, or 1 meter tall. Despite their tiny size, they hunted animals, made stone tools, and survived for thousands of years on their isolated island. Imagine walking through a jungle and suddenly seeing a fully grown human no taller than a young child. It would have been an unforgettable sight. So, if you met one of these other humans, would they attack you? Not necessarily. Like us, they probably feared strangers. Some encounters may have ended in conflict. Others may have involved cautious curiosity. Groups might have watched each other from a distance before deciding whether to approach. They likely communicated using gestures, facial expressions, and perhaps even simple spoken language. No one knows exactly what those conversations sounded like, but they almost certainly happened. In fact, we know something even more remarkable. Homo sapiens and Neanderthals didn't just meet, they had children together. Today, nearly every person with European or Asian ancestry carries a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA. It's living proof that these ancient humans weren't completely separate from us. They were close enough to become family. Every time scientists study our DNA, they uncover tiny reminders of those meetings tens of thousands of years ago. Eventually, something changed. One by one, the other human species disappeared. Neanderthals vanished around 40,000 years ago. Denisovans faded from history. The tiny people of Flores disappeared. Many reasons have been suggested. Climate change, competition for food, disease, small populations, or perhaps a combination of all of them. The truth is, no one knows exactly why only Homo sapiens survived. Today, when you look around the world, every person you meet belongs to the same species. We may look different, speak different languages, and come from different cultures, but compared to the past, humanity has never been more alike. There was once a time when Earth was home to several kinds of humans. Now, only one remains. The next time you look into someone else's eyes, remember this: 50,000 years ago, you might have looked into the eyes of someone who wasn't quite like you. yet was still undeniably human, a cousin, a survivor, a member of another branch of our incredible family tree. And perhaps the greatest mystery of all is wondering what stories they would have told about us.